Wir sind heute einmal mehr auf der internationalen Edelmetallmesse in München, Edelmetall- und Rohstoffmesse, denn es sind auch Unternehmen aus anderen Sektoren vertreten, unter anderem aus dem Bereich Lithium. Und da haben wir hier ein sehr interessantes Unternehmen namens Neometals. Ich spreche hier mit Geschäftsführer, Managing Director, wie man in Australien sagt, Chris Reed. Und wir wollen uns einmal genau erklären lassen, warum es bei Neometals geht. Welcome, Chris. Please give us a short introduction of your company. What you're doing, where you're at in the cycle, and what your plans are for the future.
Okay, sure. Thank you very much, Bjorn. Neometals is an Australian lithium producer. There are a few lithium producers in the world. We are one of them with our partners Mineral Resources and Gangfeng. So in the last 12 months we've built the world's largest hard rock lithium concentrator. We are currently commissioning that. We expect the first shipment out in November this year. Once the mine is up and running and we reach steady state production under the offtake agreements that we have with Gangfeng, Mineral Resources and ourselves plan to take back our share of the offtake. We can do that in 3 years' time. We are currently signed an MOU to progress to the front-end engineering design phase of a downstream lithium processing plant, where we take our lithium oxide concentrates through to lithium hydroxide, so that we can sell directly into the battery market.
That was what I was going to ask. This downstream product is what car maker, battery makers are looking for. Can you give us an idea of what the difference in prices is between selling the concentrate and what kind of concentrates are you selling, and the prices you get for the downstream product?
Right, so the concentrates that we produce, a 6% lithium oxide concentrate, currently is around $570 a tonne. To make 1 tonne of lithium hydroxide, you need 7 tonnes of that concentrate, and the lithium hydroxide is selling at the moment volume in China at around $15,000 a tonne.
So the margin on that, of course, is a lot better. That's why you're trying to do that. Now, as far as I remember, you said there's 3 partners in this. You sold part of your interest in the project, but that also means that you're pretty cashed up and are even paying a dividend already. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, look, we in order to bring in China's largest lithium processor, China is the only country that buys lithium concentrates and converts them. We wanted to start up a very big mine, and we had to get a very big partner in to buy the offtake. The Chinese need a secure offtake, so they needed to be equity investors in the project. So to make the project a reality, we have to take the risk out of the revenue side, the marketing, the price. So we did a life of mine offtake agreement with Gangfeng. They are the largest, most profitable lithium producer in China, fastest growing, and we've grown the production from the mine, the capacity from an initial 200 to 400,000 tonnes of concentrate, and I look forward in the future to supplying them more.
That certainly sounds ambitious, but good. The other thing is getting back to the downstream processing. Can you tell us a bit about the process you're using, what the advantages are, and how, very basically, how it works?
Right, so we developed an electrolytic lithium process. At this stage our preference is to license that to a brine producer. It makes more of a cost reduction for them because their initial lithium is in a lithium chloride form, as opposed to using 7 tonnes of lithium oxide. So for our proposed downstreaming plant, we want to put it close to the mine. We want to use conventional technology. We have very good sources of the necessary reagents. We have natural gas pipelines very close to the proposed plant site. We have rail, high voltage electricity, acid, and access to ports. So rather than to go through our electrolytic process and pioneer that, we would be happy to be second on that. And in terms of speed to market and that certainty, we will use the same flow sheet as the Chinese. The advantage that we will have is that we will not have to ship 7 tonnes of rock to a port costs and then ship it for 12 days up to China. So we'll have a natural advantage of having our downstream plant close to the mine.
And you're also, as you said, using the same flow sheet, so profiting from Gangfeng's expertise.
Well, if you're using the same flow sheet and we can't take our offtake for 3 years, they will have pioneered it. It's fully, I mean, it's not piloted, it's demonstrated on a commercial scale. They will have converted hundreds of thousands of tonnes of Mount Marion product by the time we want to start.
Oh, okay, so
I mean, our main driver is the lowest risk. So we have a lot of cash on our balance sheet. We have just under $80 million in cash and listed investments. We have no debt. You know, we have cash flow going to be commencing from the mine. We've got a history of returning dividends back to the shareholders. My family is the biggest investor into the company. We're very well aligned. So I think if you were to sum us up, it would be the lowest risk entry into or to have exposure into the lithium market.
And certainly German investors like to hear companies paying dividends and able to pay sustaining dividends. But you also have some other projects outside of the lithium space. Can you tell me just a bit about that?
Yeah, so we have the world's second highest grade hard rock titanium deposit, a little like Rio Tinto's Lacteo and Telnes's in Norway. So what we've done there is we're taking that through, we've licensed the technology from Canada to produce titanium dioxide pigment. We're currently going through the pigment qualification stages there. The pre-feasibility study that we released from Sedgman indicated that we could produce TiO2 at about 1/3 of the average industry cost. So we're just going through the stages of de-risking that. And like the lithium project, it's a very big project. We will bring in strong partners. So as a company, we're happy to take the risk with the drill bit or in the test laboratory with technology. When it comes to the execution and monetization, we're not prepared to take that risk, and we bring in big partners to make it a certainty.
Okay. Thank you. Certainly sounds interesting, and we're looking forward to hearing more in the future.
Thank you.